So I will show you 3 tools that I made, and one of them doesn't work. So we'll get to see how, and I have an assumption or hypothesis why this doesn't work. So what I actually want is I want to create a function that are related and pack them up together. My example is this guy, date tools. Now in this date tool, I have 3 functions. The first is about get the current time. This function actually calculates the duration between a given 2 dates. The last tool that I have in here is a tool that will get me the day of work from a given date. Don't forget to give us likes, leave your comments, share us to your friends, and also subscribe to our channels. We have YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Facebook. So let's talk about tool first. Tools is actually, as I mentioned, a programmatic functions that you write in a Python script that the LLM will see and decide to use. So basically, it's up to the LLM whether it needs or it wants to use the tools to provide answer to the user query or not. The LLM is responsible for preparing inputs to a tool, right? So it will need to prepare an argument that it would need to provide to a tool. So I will show you 3 tools that I made, and one of them doesn't work. The other 2 worked, so we'll get to see how, and I have an assumption or hypothesis why this doesn't work. So you need to come here to the admin setting, admin page or admin account of Open WebUI in order to see here. I'm in admin now. In order to see tools here, you will need to click Workspace, and Tool is one of the tabs here. Now, in order to add new tools, you will click a plus button here, and then you will get a template. So actually, it's good because you can see what needs to be done here. So pretty much you need to use class tools, and you need to have a initiation definition process in there, and then you can put all the tools a function. Each tool is a function. You need to put each function inside this to make up tools, right? Now this one function, one tool or one function will get the username, an email, and ID from it's a good way to actually show you how to use this variable here. Now you can put other functions in there. So what I actually want is I want to create a function that are related and pack them up together. My example is this guy, date tools. Now in this date tool, I have 3 functions. The first function is about get the current time, and in defining the tool, you need to give it a good description because the LLM needs to know what this function or this tool is good for. So make sure in the docstring you provide a description, a short description, and you may provide a meaning of the return value in it. Now, if function has arguments or inputs, you need to use this format as well: colon, param, and the name of the inputs or the argument, and follow up with a description. For this one, I have 2 input parameters. This function actually calculates the duration between a given 2 dates, and therefore I have 2 dates as an input to this function or to this tool. Now, the last tool that I have in here is a tool that will get me the day of work from a given date. And this is going to be done by some Python library that is very meant for determining a date of week from a given date string. So if you're happy, you can click Save, and if your code is correct, you will get a green light from here. And then you'll be ready to equip the model, right? And when you do that, you come to a model, you click Create a Model, and you fill in information like name of this model, give it a good description, Also, some short description of this model is about you can select base model. Now, this is tool calling capability. You need to select model that are trained for tool calling functionalities or capabilities. Usually, you need a large language model, like a GPT-4o is a good starting point, and maybe 4o-mini can do this as well. In my demo, I actually picked the 4o-mini, and it sort of worked when I tried it. So yeah, select the model appropriately for function calling. You can write the system prompt as you wish, and I recommend you do so. And last but not least, you equip a tool by put a check mark in the box of the tool that you want to equip the model. So here is my example, Date Tool AI. This one, I'm using GPT-4o-mini as a base model, and the system prompt is you will help users with dates, calendars using tools. And you have a checkbox over here. Make sure that this model knows that it has a tool. It will learn that this tool exists. Okay, now let's try this tool out. So maybe I will refresh my interface, just make sure that all the updated configurations got updated properly. So I am going to try my date tool. Well, first thing, let's check out the day of week. Day of week of September, maybe 25th, 2024. That should be Wednesday. That's correct. Let's actually toggle this. Well, actually, you should toggle this guy just to make sure that the tool got triggered properly, right? Again, day of week of September 2024. That should be a Friday. Now, did you notice that when it was using function, it takes a little bit longer to respond? Because I think there's a step, an extra step inside that it will determine whether this query we need to use tools or not. Okay, so let me try again. I am going to refresh this guy. Actually, no. Let me actually ask the durations between two dates. Now, days between September 25th, 24, and September 1st, 2023. It happens to be this much. I think that is correct, right? Yeah, so now you have seen how to use this tool. With this tool equipped, the model actually knows get access to all these tools. Okay, I am going to show you about another tool. This tool is very just for a demonstration, it's very quick. Here, this tool is a fortune teller, and I made a function that will always return future of a name, a given name, an argument is awesome. So actually I should do this, param name of a person to foretell. And I want to actually show you the difference, actual difference between toggling the tool on and off. Okay, so if the tool get triggered properly, the model will receive this very short fortune telling, right? Okay, now here is the one that this is the model, the fortune teller model, that the base model is actually the GPT-4o, the latest one. The prompt is you are a fortune teller. You get a name from the user or ask the user politely for a name of a first person to foretell. Once you get the name, you must use a provided tool or function to get future reading. You answer to the user directly as the tool answers. So yeah, we'll see if the model actually follows this. And in the tools, I select the fortune teller tool for this model to use. I can click and save and update over here. Okay, all right, let's get to the demo. Is this guy. Okay, so this tool is not enabled yet. So let me just use it without that. Hey, I give it hey. Now it's hello. I send you a seeking insight about the future. If you share with me the name of the person you'd like to foretell about, I can offer you a glimpse into what lies ahead. What's the name? So that's my name, Benz. Here you go. So, Benz, let me take a moment to glimpse into the future. Your future seems veiled just for now. Perhaps you'd like to inquire differently or as at later time when the stars are aligned. See, it has nothing to do with the actual definition of the function, as you see here. My future should be awesome, but it did not respond like that. So let me try it again. Let me try to regenerate this again. Thank you for sharing. The future is about to reveal. Right? It's kind of stuck. I think it's trying to use tool, but because tool is not enabled here. So let's enable this tool and regenerate it again. So regenerating this thing that's it. The future for Benz is awesome. So it makes a difference between night and day whether you actually toggle this tool or not in the actual chat. So for this tool, only equipping it to a model doesn't ensure that this function got called properly. You actually need to enable this tool inside the chat again. On the other hand, coming back to the date and time here, the model can get by. If I remember correctly, I did not toggle this tool on. The model can get by with some query, but in order to make sure that it gets correct answer, I'm sure that you need to enable this tool if you wish to get the correct answer. So as a concept here, you define a tool, and if it's different from what the model has been trained on, the tool function calling tool, it will work more predictably here. And you can actually need to toggle this function to make sure that it happens, it actually takes place. Okay, now what I show you is the fortune teller using the GPT-4o-mini, GPT-4o as a base model. And when the tool is not toggled, if you generate the response, it's actually stuck. It seems like it's calling a function, but because the function has not been enabled in this chat yet, it's stuck. It's waiting for the response. I found out the difference between Chat GPT-4o and the GPT-4o-mini behavior in this sense here. So let me just go here. A fortune teller, GPT-4o-mini. Everything is the same except that the base model is now GPT-4o-mini. So for that, let's try Ahe first. Ahe is that we get, how can I assist you today? If you'd like, please provide me a name similar to what ChatGPT 4o version did. So now, if I enable the fortune teller tool, give it my name, it should be awesome, right? Yeah, my future is awesome. But what I would really want to show you here is when I toggle this tool off for GPT-4o-mini, it's rambling. So it's trying to do it's implementing its own solution. So this is somewhat like hallucination. And that's because in the the system prompt, I explicitly mention that you must use a provided tool or function to get the future reading. So what I found here is the difference of instruction following between a GPT-4o-mini and a ChatGPT-4o in the system prompt. Okay, the last tool that I have made is the math calculation tools. Is the failure case. So in this tool, I have two functions or two tools in there. First of them, the first one of them is two number arithmetic. So my idea is I want the LLM to extract two numbers from the user query and identify the operator, add, minus, multiply, and divide, and perform a calculation. And in this function, if it actually worked, I will give it the actual the actual code to actually run the arithmetic operations. But I found that no matter what I tried, I couldn't get this function to be called. Let me just show you. So if this function got called properly, the answer will always be 456. Another function that I put there is get squared, a square of some value, right? If this function got called, the answer is 1, 2, 3. And for some reason, I couldn't even get the model to call this function properly. Yeah, I think this is my failure case. And if any of you have succeeded in doing math functions for this tool, let me know. Okay, first of all, my modeled is here, Math Tool AI. I have provided the GPT-4o out. Let's get the best one then, ChatGPT-4o latest. And the prompt here is you'll help user with math-related questions. You must use tools to solve the question and answer strictly using an output from a tool, not from yourself. And in the tool section, I check the math calculation tool. And that's it. I saved the model. Okay, just refresh this for the freshness of the user interface. Now, come to the chat, select the modeled. Don't forget to enable the tool in here. Okay, now this is my argument, 10 plus 1. The answer, now it's doing something, it's trying to check for the function. See, it gets an answer on its own. It doesn't use a tool because if it used the tool, it should be this tool, two number arithmetic, and the answer should be 456. So yeah, I don't know how or why, but it didn't seem to work. Square of 2. It answered on its own again. I think because when you come back to this chat session, make sure that you re-enable this thing again. You re-enable this tool and still it computed on its own. What I don't like about this is I don't want math to be handled by the LLM because it can hallucinate. Computing is probably not the LLM's strength, right? So among the three tools, the fortune teller tool succeeded most like 100% of the time, I think. The date tools somewhat works, somewhat got triggered. I still have questions about get there weeks, and you saw it got it without me enabling the tool. And the last tool, the math tool, failed completely, like 0% of the time that the functions here got called. And this is my hypothesis. The hypothesis is that when the query is could be very related to the task that the model will actually train it upon. Like the model can be fine-tuned during the instruction fine-tuning process, can be fine-tuned to do math and reasoning. And this could be a reason why the model thinks that it should handle the task on its own. That's my hypothesis. I have no way to verify that. But to me, if you are going to use tools, make sure that the capability or the ability that the tools will serve is quite distinct from the model, what the model has seen before, like fortune telling, for example. It's very specific and unique, and if so, then tool calling is likely to succeed.